just, if you had a heartbeat and you were nice to me and helped me, then that's how you got on my team. So I had a lot of fail forwards along the way on the team building piece. Wait, I think I forgot the question. And today our team is administrative rock star. We just have someone leave us, and we're working on building a bench. So what's one administrative person and 3 agents right this minute. We just brought on a young guy to help with calls and contacts, and we're looking for another administrative, probably director of operations, concierge type role. So it's all backwards right now. So don't go to where I am right now, because this was after like funneling through people and stuff. So
yeah. Did you get a MAPS coach early on? When did you finally plug into that?
Yeah, after my first bold in 2010, it was February of 2011 at family reunion, and I ran into my bold coach that had just been my coach the fall before, and I was sharing with them the results, already seeing increase in productivity and my mindset, and so I signed up for coaching right away. First stepped into breakthrough coaching, which is every other week. And then I was like, yeah, this is working. So I stepped it up to weekly. I mean, and I know that you guys, you may have some scarcity mindset around what you call an expense. And I just always saw it as an investment. That $1,000 a month is those years when I made over $50,000 more per year from having a coach. That return on investment was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You know, when I attend the different KW events, and I hear it over and over again, and I see it too in our own market center. So let's talk a little bit about database, because you've done some incredible things there, and I believe actually increased your business by 65%. By really focusing on an aspect of your database. Why don't you share a little bit about that with us?
Yeah, so back in, and I think a little bit of fail forward story needs to predate this story. Back in 2014, I had a small team and we'd helped 81 families. And I was burned out. Although I had people on my team, I wasn't they weren't maybe the right fit, or they weren't properly trained, or I wasn't holding them accountable. And guess what that means? I was still holding on to way too much. So I had this facade that I was leveraged, when in fact I was just doing more with people around me. So that creates frustration. And so in 2015, in March of that year, I had 2 other agents on my team. I had stopped working with buyers or sellers because I hated them, because I was so burned out on people. And you guys ever hate people?
Yeah, they get it.
and in this relationship business that we're in, it's not good to hate people. And so I had in the same week of March 2015, I had one of the agents that wasn't a great fit. I had encouraged her to fly away to somewhere else. And then the other agent on my team decided that she was ready to move to the beach. So in 1 week, I got 2 jobs back. And that was really the best thing that could ever happen. I had a pity party for a minute, and then I just got with my coach, and I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's rebuild. Let's do this right. And I was really excited that I got to start over. And that was when, in 2015, I took bold 4 times in 1 year. And 3 of those times was in a market center an hour and a half away from me. So we talk about database, and we'll get back to our local database. I think there's also value in our agent database as well. And so by traveling, being purposeful, adding value to other agents, bringing them into my world and my database, and meeting more people, today has paid off, when last year alone we generated over 100 agent referrals to our team, and we're already well outpacing that for this year, because I focused on adding value to other agents. And so that was what happened. Was in 2015, I had this change up on my team, and at the same time later that year, I got a new coach. Now, I love my old coach. He was great. It's just sometimes we need a different perspective and a different mindset and a different accountability factor to kick in. And with that new coach was when he asked me on one of our first calls, how many people are in your Met database? And I gave him an answer like, well, I mean, they're all kind of, thrown in there. And so I didn't have an answer. So guess what I got to do? Find the answer. And over that next week, what had happened was, and you guys have done this, and you probably have a really messy database like I did. You meet somebody at an open house and they go in your database, and then you've got a past client, then you've got a friend, then you've got somebody at a volunteer organization, and then an expired that you decide you're going to work on expireds for a week, and then you stop doing that, but they're still in your database. And then maybe you see a for sale by owner, so you throw them in there. And I was spending time and energy and money on people that I didn't even know. And so by him asking that question, I got to chunk it down week by week, day by day, and call, touch, or delete all these people that were not ever going to use us for business at all. I may like them and they may like me, and they are a Met. Are they going to ever be a piece of business? I don't know. You get to determine how you do that. If you're one that wants to, if it's not costing you anything, leave them in there. It doesn't cost you anything, as long as you're not using mind share and worrying about them. So by knowing my numbers, if you guys will, there's an exercise called What's Your Database Worth? And I encourage you guys to do it, maybe as a team meeting or something, and you'll really make people mad, because you'll discover that you're probably leaving a lot of money on the table by not focusing on the people that already know you, trust you, and like you and want to support you. And so by getting purposeful about knowing the true number, and then even going a step further and qualifying them even better to say, out of these true Mets, we've had a conversation, two-way conversation about real estate. We kind of know who each other are, and who are my raving fans and cheerleaders, allied resources out of that group. And that's when last year, March, we created what we call our Rockstar group. So they share our Facebook posts, they send us referrals, they could be, here's the thing I realized is that just because somebody was a past client of ours doesn't mean that they are the people that are going to refer you. Yeah, and when they need to sell or buy, they will probably use you. So of course you have to stay in touch with them. And at the same time, if they're not going to be the kind of referring type people, then don't dwell on them. So they're still there, they're still in your database, they're still getting your touches. And at the end of the day, if you have to choose, like today I've got to call 10 people, they need to be the allied resources, the core advocates, the ones that are going to share your info, the ones that are your raving fans. And so with the raving fan group, we created a closed Facebook group. So I do not share anything real estate related in there. It's all just community stuff, fun things going on around town, ways, giveaways for them, drawings and things like that. And this is private. So they feel safe inside of that group. They don't feel spammed, and they don't feel, awkward or uncomfortable. And so I think the combination of knowing the true number, properly applying a 33 touch, which means something in their mailbox, quarterly call, inviting them to events. We do 2 videos per month that go in their inbox. All of those add up real quick to get over 33, now 36, and just staying local and present. And all of that together is what is the big increase in our production, I'd say.
Can you give an example of some of your allied resources that have, maybe might surprise them that, hey, this is a great resource?
Oh, well, I mean, it's usually going to start with past clients, and because they've already experienced us, or maybe they're not a past client yet, and then they do become one. So, I mean, for me, so let me just add into this. Besides past clients, other great core advocates and allied resources are business partners. So I share this with people and not everybody knows about it. Inside of your KW app, you guys have something called Homekeeper. And Homekeeper is an app inside of your KW site. And it is an amazing tool to share. It's free. You guys have this. And inside of it, there's a directory. And you can add all your own vendor partners to this. Okay, now everybody's going to go on their phone and look for it. Let me just tell you where it is. Okay, inside your KW app that you guys all have on your phone, at the top left are 3 lines. And scroll to the bottom, it says Homekeeper. And then it'll pop up, and you may need to do this from your desk.
Yeah, y'all might want to come off that phone line because I think it's slower.
So that
It's taking my internet.
you can set up all your picture and your logo and everything. So what you guys freeze?
Yes. Yeah, I think when they all went on the internet, it moved to a new building, so that's important.
Okay. Do that later. Okay, so do that later. It's now let me just share the fun things to do with it though. So now you've got all these different vendor partners. So what I did was, you need a quarterly call to your database, right? So what if you call your database and you say, hey, it's Jenny. I just wanted to touch base and let you know about this really cool tool that I have. It's a free app. Because here's the deal. People that have already bought a house recently, they don't need our mobile app anymore. Unless they're just those kind of psycho people that always like to know, what's happening because they exist. But in the Homekeeper app, this has value for everyone. It's going to have a directory of all your service partners. It has quarterly reminders of maintenance items for them to do, so it gives them value. You can take a picture of invoices and receipts and save everything in your phone, and you can even look up old warranties or service things or whatever. So there's value. So it's a super great conversation and easy call to your database. So I would say, hey, I've got this great app. As soon as we hang up, I'm going to text it over to you. And they'll be like, yeah, great. And I'll say, oh, and by the way, do you know any small business owners or entrepreneurs that I need to know? Because I'm always looking for great businesses to add to our network. So now you're asking for referrals. Now they may be a business person. That's okay. It may not be a house or buyer or seller, but it's still adding value and it's still adding people to your database. Cool?
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Anything else on database you want to touch on with us, which you think is important?
Well, and so going along with the database and the rock stars or allied resources, whatever you want to call them, we also got purposeful about having events. So you guys have heard a lot of things about events these days. They can be big or they can be small. And I think that you always want to have some events sprinkled through your year and plan them out and have a budget and all that. And something we've been doing extra to take it a step further is every event that we're having, we're partnering with or raising donations or making donations to a local nonprofit. So, for example, we did an event at a local garden greenhouse type place. And then we have a local nonprofit that's called Global Gardens, and they take gardening and all that into the schools so that kids in lower income areas learn about the value of healthy eating and community. And so every event that you have, partner it with giving back to the community. So then I'll go to that local nonprofit and I'll say, hey, we're going to do this client event. We're going to raise money for you. And they're going to say, yes, please. They never say no. And I make a video with the executive director there and just say, hey, tell us about how you guys are doing great things around Tulsa and how do you give back to the community. Just make a very short 2-3 minute video. And now you promote that all over Facebook and on your website. And you're just giving back, give. And by all of this giving, guess what you get? Yeah. So I'd say that has been the most fun, because whenever you're having a business like this, a referral-based business is more fun, and life is more fun. And there's a lot of laughs and smiles and hugs and tears. And I think that's what we all forget about doing sometimes.
So you really don't buy leads then, huh, Jennie?
No, I never have. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Build your database.
Build your database on that relationship. And I noticed, I mean, you guys give back in a big way. I mean, I saw that you've given back over $125,000. How'd that happen?
It all is related to this. I mean, maybe it's just who I am, I just love giving back, and that feels good. Everybody in their heart enjoys volunteerism, whether you have time for it or not. You care about people, whether it's money or time. And so the big story is that back in 2013 in our area nearby, it actually was 5 years ago, a couple days ago, there were tornadoes that destroyed a whole town, Moore, Oklahoma. And being mid-year, we said, what can we do as a team to give back? And so we said, well, how about if $100 of every closing we have for the rest of the year, we donate to the relief efforts in Oklahoma City. So we gave $100. Well, back then we sold 81 houses. That was like $4,000 that we didn't even feel. It was $100 out of every closing. And so the next year we go, okay, that felt really, really good. So how can we keep this up? And so we've kept it up. And so I started a nonprofit. It's called Keys to the City. And basically every closing, we say, we're going to give $100 to our client's favorite nonprofit. You guys, you won't feel $100 when it's a $5,000 commission. And the impact, though, for your clients and to the community can add up to be huge. And so in this, again, I'm all about easy, and I'm all about come from contribution. So, hey, Sally, it was great helping you buy your house. You know, you guys were so fun to work with. And something we love to do is donate back to your favorite nonprofit. Is there an organization in town that you love that we can give to? And they will tell you who they love. Sometimes they don't have anybody, and you say, well, great. If it's okay, we'll just pick, one of the most popular, or one that we see has a great need. And they go, oh, well, that's really nice. Wow, that's great. And then you can really plus this by when you send the check to the nonprofit, you put it on your letterhead and you say, donated by, on behalf of, and you list your client's name. And then your client gets the thank you card, and you get a thank you card. And all nonprofits enjoy receiving money, even if it's $100.
Yeah, that's great. And how do you have time to do all this, Jennie? I mean, you give back to the community. You're selling your goal is 175 homes, and then you give back to the realtor community at a high level too, with your Facebook page and interviewing agents. How do you do it?
I say no a lot. That's how you do it. There's this book called The One Thing, and amazing podcast that you can listen to. And actually, I listened to a great one this morning, and it's all about being purposeful in what you say yes to. So when you guys are building out your goals for the year, I know that the top 5 things I need to think about and focus on every day need to be in my calendar and time block, that I have to put thought to that. And if it's not in that, then it doesn't really matter.
What are some of the KW tools and systems, and I don't know if you've really keyed into the new technology yet, what are some of the things that you find invaluable that you use in your business that make a difference?
Well, first off, everything. I attend all events, travel for all events. Masterminds are amazing. You're in a smaller group setting and you get higher quality thinking. Even the new Kelly and KW Connect, I've been sharing videos on there, so you guys can follow me on KW Connect. adding value that way. Something that I realized is that as I was receiving lots of agent referrals, I wasn't always able to guarantee I'm going to be able to give you one back. So how can I add value to you? So I created a Facebook group called Your Journey with Jennie. So you guys can join it, and it's a closed group, so not the page. And inside this group, I share tips and tricks and systems and tools that we use in our business that have helped us along the way. And I'm still failing forward. I mean, I'm still a baby in this world. You hang out with these really smart, amazing mega agents, and you realize that you need to go a lot faster to keep up with them. And so all of the CGI tools, knowing your numbers, cash talks, I mean, the 135 economic model, I mean, my wall is just lined with every tool. They're created for a reason. It's because they make us better and more focused and more efficient.
That's great. Jennie, share with us a little bit. You were telling, I don't think you shared this yet, and I was reading about this, and I love this story. How did Matt's coaching and bold accountability change your life when you haven't shared that yet, right? About the what you went out and bought.
Yeah, well, you guys, you've taken bold, so I know that you know the exercises where, well, first off, the self-image exercise is amazing. And then you have the week, and we just had this a couple weeks ago in Bold, where you have your material items and your financial and then your personal. And back in 2010 in my life, I would always catch this is before a Bold, this is before abundant thinking. I would always say, I wish we had a friend that had a lake house so that on the weekends in the summer, everybody takes off for the lake in Tulsa, and it's dead here and it's hot and everybody's at the lake. And I would say, I wish I had a friend that had a lake house. Well, Bold, you do this exercise and you dream really big. And so I wrote down a lake house. And the Bold coach at the time, I shared that out loud, and I shared it with the room. And then the Bold coach became my MAPS coach. And so early, 6 months later, he says, hey, you're hitting all your goals. How much does a lake house cost? And I said, I have no idea. And guess what I did that night? Luckily, the local lake is about an hour away and has the same MLS. So I got on MLS and I found a lake house and said to my husband, and now his behavioral style is an S and a C. So I say to my husband, hey, let's buy a lake house. So what does he go into? Like, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, well, let's just get pre-approved. And we probably can't even get pre-approved anyway. Well, we did. So then he starts, freaking out a little more. And then I say, this one's amazing. And I know how contracts work. Let's just go ahead and write an offer on it. Now, sight unseen, by the way. Let's go ahead and make an offer on it. And we know that they'll probably counter. And then if we change our mind, or we can go up there this weekend, if we don't like it, then we can just be done. So the seller countered. That Saturday, we go up to the lake. It's darling. It's 700 square feet. And it's in a community that is really cute. And I have real estate related friends in there. Another lady in my office has a place there. My title rep has a place there. So I did have some connections. And we signed the counter offer on the countertop of this lake house less than 6 months from when I had dreamt of it.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's great.
Let me add one piece to that I think is really important. My husband is an attorney. He is a research writer, and all day long he's at the computer using his brain to, work through crushing people. I mean, like his job is all negative, right? And so this lake house has actually been better and improved his life than even mine. It's his escape on the weekends. he's comes from a negative mindset. He's from New York and he's an attorney, you guys. So it's like, so he's just a natural pessimist. And so me being, bold all these years, it took a long time for him to kind of get his mindset there. So, change your family at the same time. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I love that story. Love it. One thing I want to ask you, Jennie, I love the different reviews you're doing with different people. Is there anybody that really stands out? Because I'd love to send the agents and say, hey, you might want to listen to this one or that one. Is there anybody that really stands out to you and some of the different people you've interviewed?
Oh my gosh. Well, so inside of Your Journey with Jennie Facebook group is where I post a lot of them. However, you can also just follow me on or subscribe on YouTube to the Wolek group. And I share a playlist and I call it Agent Success Secrets. And I keep learning so much from all of these friends. First off, I'm humbled that they're saying yes to me, because when I add up the production of the people that have agreed to talk with me, you guys, it is mind-blowing. And today I'm actually talking with Seth Campbell. He is kind of a rock star, and we're going to talk about career visioning and 30, 60, 90, success through others. I am just amazed and blown away every single day. So you guys just watch all those videos. Yeah.
What's the name of your YouTube? What's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's just so the Wolek group. So my team's name is the Wolek group. And inside of it, I have a playlist called Agent Success Secrets. And they're Zoom videos just like this where they share with me awesome. I mean, I get ideas out of every single one of them. I can't pick one.
Right, I've become a fan of them. I watch them too now. They're awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
It was really cool for me, Jennie, and maybe, you know how you put the intention out there, you never know what's going to happen. My coach had recommended for me to contact you to share with these agents before I ever had met you. And you know how you get bombarded with information, and I didn't think about it until after I got you here, and I was looking at some old messages from Patrick Woods, if you know Patrick. Yeah, and he's like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you already told me about Jennie. So it just kind of all played out that way. So I'm super excited you got to share. Do you mind if they ask you any questions? Do you have a few more minutes?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. What questions do you guys want to ask Jennie? Okay, go ahead. And Marshall, you want to stand up, or do you want to just make sure she hears you good?
Do you use the nonprofit gift in lieu of a closing gift?
Sometimes, yes. Yeah, especially sellers. We will do that. And we go back and forth on that. As a team, we struggle with it because we're givers. So we want them to have something at closing. So we're actually going to, we just bought some insulated bags, and we're going to have it be kind of a welcome home survival kit for our buying clients, where it's going to have, the things you need right when you go into a new, like toilet paper and paper towels and Clorox wipes, and just a fun little survival kit for our buyer clients. And we do really just for our sellers, we don't do much. And guess what? I mean, we're still selling a lot of houses and helping lots of people. So I don't think it's something to get hung up on. If you're a giver, you can just share that's, hey, and this is a great idea too. A lot of you probably give on your green sheets to Keller Williams Cares or to Keller Williams Kids Can. I'm on the advisory council for that, and that's the class that teaches QL for kids. And so we also donate to that. I saw Wendy Papazan. She's on the board of directors, and she has a cute little note card with maybe a cute little gift bag that says, thank you for allowing us to help you, and in return, we get to give back to this great nonprofit. So, yeah, so if you're already a giver anyway, just let them know that you're giving.
Love that. Love that. Any other questions? Anybody else want to ask their question? Okay, I have a question for you. There are people in the room here. Some of them, how many of you have your database all put together? Okay, there's only a handful of people who do. So that's like, you look at that and you go, oh my God, where do I start? How do I do this? And I know I think I read that you took about 6 months when you could really get purposeful with this. Where do they start? What's the action item? Because you know, Diana, we can learn and learn, but we have to take action right away within 24 hours. What can they do purposeful to start that bandwagon going?
You start with A. I'll say that along with chunking down my database, the other key factor to my change was that with this new coach, I also texted him, he was waiting for my text every morning by 9 a.m. So, of course, you start with going into your database and having a plan with it. First, you have to have the habit of daily lead generation. So you need to be committed to 9 to 11 every day at least. This is all I'm doing and nothing else comes in the door. Because once you start squirreling off and you get distracted, you get to like, you know, Abby or whatever, you know, I mean, like you don't get very far. So you have to have read the one thing and build a bunker. So then you have your time block. Now you're going to lead generate and somebody's holding you accountable to that. And now you start at the beginning. And now beforehand say, what kind of database are you using? Do you have tags? Are they called, in our database, it's called a MET. So I know that when I tag them as a MET, these are the things that will happen to them. So define your database, who gets what. And that can just be on a piece of paper. That's how mine started. It's on a piece of paper. It says, our sphere of influence, here's what they get. Then they're a MET, here's what they get plus this. When they're an ally resource, they get this plus this plus this. And you just funnel it down. And so know what the touches they're going to receive. And don't get too overwhelmed that you don't do anything, because that's what everybody does. They say, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. And then they get into the details and they don't do anything. So you chunk it down. And I actually used, there's a class called Never Ending Referrals. And they use a fun tool called Do the Two. And they break down the letters of the alphabet where it's like A and K or something. And they do that on purpose. And I discovered why. It's because after years of not getting all the way through my database, all the front end of my database had been touched and not the back end. Who can relate to that?
Yeah.
So
I think something you bring up that's really great. I mean, you just didn't just sit down and figure all this out. You read the one thing. You did Never Ending Referrals. You got a coach. You use the resources, and there's a lot of free resources out there with KW. You use those resources to advance your life and your business.
Right. We can't do this alone, you guys. No way. No way.
Yeah. That's awesome. Any other questions? Okay. Now I'm going to pose a question to them, okay? Let's see who's brave enough to answer, okay? What is the one thing you're going to do? Just raise your hand. What's the one thing you're going to do after listening to this podcast that you're going to change, that you're going to implement right away? Just one thing. Willie, what's that one thing? Work on your database. That's great. Build a database. Great.
Take people out that are not effective.
Take people out that are not effective. That's awesome.
Homekeeper app.
Homekeeper app. What else? Anything else? Yes.
$100 commission to the nonprofit.
$100 for the nonprofit. Yes.
Be more intentional with agent referrals.
Be more intentional of agent referrals.
Follow Jennie on Facebook.
Follow Jennie on Facebook. Yes. Anything else? Wow, Jennie, look at all the value you brought for us today. Thank you. You're amazing. We owe you. We're going to get you some referrals. Thank you. Thank you. Anything?
You guys are awesome. Go get it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one.
So what do you guys think? Does that help when we bring these kinds of people in to let you think?